We're in Perek Lamed Gimel, page 152 at the bottom, 84 on top. If you're following the Tanya in the English Tanya, it's 84 on top, 152 at the bottom. It's in the middle of chapter 33. The last thing that the Rebbe was explaining about how a person, even though they realize they're nothing, which causes them to break the thick log that the fire of godliness can't catch on to, so you have to bust it up. And he said, you're going to come to depression. He said, don't worry, it's not depression. It's merirus, it's bitterness, which is a stepping stone to come even to greater simcha. And then he says another aspect, that a Jew has to realize that Torah and mitzvahs are this unbelievable multi-billion, zillion dollar inheritance that every Jew has. Every Jew, no matter who they are, like we discussed last week, Torah is matana, Torah is mekach, Torah is a buying, Torah is a gift, Torah is inheritance. Every person says, Ashreinu matei chokenu mayafi, you'll say, no, how beautiful is our inheritance. This inheritance is something that every Jew has. Okay? And he said that Hashem is coming to you when you do a mitzvah, Hashem is connecting mamish with you, and so on and so on. So he says like this, what is this Yerusha that we have? He says, this is the Emunah that Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov instilled within every single Jew. The Emunah and Yichud Hashem Amiti. Okay? So we're going to start 5 lines from the top of 84. This is what the Gemara says in Makis. Taryag mitzvahs nitnli Yisrael. 613 mitzvahs were given to the Jewish people. And then it's a very interesting Gemara, by the way. How do we know that there's 613 mitzvahs? Doesn't say in Chumash there's 613 mitzvahs. How do we know that there's Taryah? You ask every kid, how many mitzvahs are there? 613. Where does it say that? So the Gemara at the end of Makris says a proof that the Gemara says like this: Moshe Rabbeinu gave the Jews 613 mitzvahs. This person came and made it on 11. This person came and made it on 6. Habakkuk came and made it on 1. So Gemara says, how do we know there's 613 mitzvahs? So Gemara says a very interesting point. We say every day, Torah, Siva, Lanu, Moshe, Merosha, Kilas, Yaakov. Torah, Siva, Lanu, Moshe. Torah, which Moshe Rabbeinu commanded us. The Gemara says, Torah, Tav, Vav, Resh, equals 611. The Gemara says, Anechi Hashem Elokecha, and Lo Yi Elocha, the first 2 of the 10 commandments, we heard directly from Hashem. So how many mitzvahs did we hear from Moshe Rabbeinu? 611. Torah, 611 mitzvahs. Tziva lanu Moshe. Moshe Rabbeinu commanded us. 2 we heard from Hashem. So how much is that altogether? The Gemara says 613. Came Habakkuk, a Navi, and put all 613 into 1. What is it? He said, Ba Habakkuk made the malachas. He made them in 1. Shenema, because the pasuk says, "V'tzadik b'menasa yichya." A tzaddik will live by his faith. What does it mean? He lives by his faith. What does it mean? A tzaddik lives by faith only. Kalema, which means ki'ila eina rak mitzvah achas. By a tzaddik, all 613 mitzvahs are like one mitzvah. What do you mean one mitzvah? Emunah levada, real belief in Hashem. Why? Kedei emunah levada, because by really believing in Hashem, Yava lekiyem kol tayag mitzvahs, you'll come to keep all 613 mitzvahs. How is that possible? So the Alter Rebbe explained, I'm going to say it inside and I'm going to read it, explain it. Hainu, shi'ali beisas sameach. When the heart of the person is joyful and happy and rejoicing. Be'emunah say beyichud Hashem b'tachlis hasimcha. He believed in Hashem. Ki'ilu lahaisa levrak mitzvah zu levada. As if he only has this mitzvah. V'levada tachlis b'yosef. This is what he was created for. Ubriyas kol, meaning like this. Chavaku came and said there's one key, which is the key to all mitzvahs. And that is if you believe in Hashem. If you believe in Hashem, the emes, truthfully, then whatever it takes to bring Hashem here in the purpose of creation, the person's going to do it. It doesn't matter what the mitzvah is. In other words, I believe in Hashem. Hashem created the world. Hashem wants a dira b'tachtenim, the dwelling place down here. That's the emunah that I have. That's the belief I have. If I have real emunah that that's what Hashem wants, and there is Hashem, and this is the purpose of creation, everything else is just offshoots of it. Whatever he wants, I do. What's this concept when the Jews said Nasa v'nishma? There's what's called in Chassidus, what's in Chassidus explains there's bittul to the rotzein or bittul to the Baal HaRotzein. Bittul to rotzein means I'm nullified to what you want. If I come to you, a normal person comes to another normal person and says, will you do me a favor? The normal answer is, yeah, what is it? Not for sure I'm going to do it. Let me first hear what you want me to do. The person tells me what he wants, and I do it. I'm bottled to his will. I'm not bottled to him. Because he asked me to do something I don't want to do, I'm not going to do it. So what am I nullified to? What am I subjugated to? The will of the person. I hear what he wants, and I agree to do it. That's called bittul to the rotzei. I'm bottled to what you want. Bittul to Baal HaRotzei means not to the will, to the owner of the will, means the person. You're so bottled to the person that what the person wants, you want. I don't have to hear what he wants because then I'm only bottled to what he wants, not to the person. But if I'm bottled to the person, then sure, whatever you want. Jump, the only question, not it, how high? Whatever you want, I'm going to do. When the Jews said, Na'asa v'nishma, nishma means, we'll hear it. Tell us what you want, and we'll hear. We'll choose and say, yeah, this, not yeah, this, yeah, this, no. When they said, Na'asa v'nishma, that means we are doing what you want without even listening to what you want. That means we're bottled to Hashem himself, not to the will of Hashem. Chavaku came and he said all of the 613 mitzvahs, the 248 positive, the 365 negative, all of them is one point. Emunah, be'emes, to what Hashem wants. And if Hashem wants, and I realize, the levada tachlis b'Yosef, this is the purpose of my creation. Ubriyas kol ha'elamis, and why Hashem created the world. So then I do what Hashem wants. Hari b'koyach v'chayis nafshi. Then with the life that this person has, the simcha rabbazu, and this great simcha, that I'm doing what he wants me to do, and I'm connecting to him, tis'ala nafshi, the person's soul becomes so elevated, l'mayla to the highest extent. I'll call hamaynim, anything that blocks, kiyim te'kol tayag mitzvahs, anything that blocks all tayag mitzvahs, mi bayis and mi chutz. What it means, in and out. In blockages that a person has, sometimes they have external blockages, and sometimes they have internal blockages. External blockages is somebody doesn't let me do the mitzvah. Internal blockages mean I'm stopping myself from doing the mitzvah. He says, the Rebbe once spoke to women in the Sikh, in the Sheikh Abad. And the Rebbe was speaking about every home being a Beis HaMikdash. Mikdash Ma'at. Every Jewish home, Chazal tell us, is a Mikdash Ma'at, a miniature Beis HaMikdash. The Shechanti B'Seichem within every single Jew. Every single Jew has a Beis HaMikdash within them. So the Rebbe said once, can you imagine if you were asked to clean the Beis HaMikdash? You would be greatly excited. They're asking you to clean Hashem's home. So you're not going to say, I don't want to do it. You're going to jump with joy that you're able to do it. The Rebbe said, every home is a Beis HaMikdash. You're cleaning your home. You're cleaning the Beis HaMikdash. You have to be b'simcha. If a person knows that I am connecting to Hashem, and he explained before that all the world are nothing, a million times nothing. And yet, Hashem is telling me individually, he says, I'm asking you personally, out of all the billions of people in the world, out of all the, how many millions of Jews there are, I'm asking you personally, individually, I would like you to do a mitzvah. If you believe in Hashem, every mitzvah that he wants us to do is going to be b'simcha. One of the reasons why, if you look at the Aseret Dibros, if you look at the Ten Commandments, it's all singular. It doesn't say Anechi Hashem Elokeichem. It says Anechi Hashem Elokecha, singular. Kabeit es avicha v'asimecha doesn't say kabdu es avicha v'asimecha. It doesn't say leisigzelu. It says leisigzel. Kabeit zachar is him Shabbos tzikachi. All singular. There's many reasons Chazal explain why Hashem said that Sediv is singular. He's speaking to every single Jew. Why doesn't he say like in Shema, Hashem Elokecha? So one of the explanations Chazal tell us, because Hashem is taka speaking to me individually, and to you individually, and to him and her, and him and her. Hashem is speaking to every single person on an individual basis. That means, to paraphrase it, Hashem is calling up every single one of us, calling us up on the phone. He's not even texting. He's calling us. We're hearing his voice. And Hashem says, I am asking you to do mitzvah 1, 2, 3, 6, 13. The simcha that a person would have by doing that, that's all what the Chavakuk said, that's all the level of Emunah. The Emunah of what Hashem does, who Hashem is. And that Hashem is giving his greatness as an inheritance to us, we're his children. Hashem is giving us this inheritance of connecting to Hashem. And it's an only child. The Baal Shem Tov said, it's a well-known expression that the Rebbe quotes many times. The Baal Shem Tov said that Hashem loves every single Jew individually, like a only child that was born into the parents' old age. Ben Zukudim. Hashem loves, just like, somebody has a lot of kids, but if somebody had an only child that was born in their older years, the love is exceptional. And the Baal Shem Tov said that's how much Hashem loves every single Jew. Every single Jew is an only child that was born in Hashem's kaviyochel ripe old age. Hashem doesn't age, but whatever it is. And yet, Hashem is coming to every single Jew. He says, I'm asking you to do this mitzvah, this mitzvah, this mitzvah, this mitzvah. And when you do it, you are inheriting the essence of Hashem when you do it. And that's why in Chassidus, in other frum circles, there's a big emphasis. You're going to go to Gan Eden. We want to go to Gan Eden. We want Chelek Olam Haba. We want Olam Haba. We want Gan Eden. That's wonderful. But Chassidus explained it's much greater than Olam Haba. Olam Haba, the Gemara says, in many places, Tzadikim Yeshvin, Tzadikim are sitting. After the Seyim V'Roshem, the crown they're on their head, whatever that means, there's explanation for it. V'nehenim miziv hashchina. They're basking in the ray of the divine presence. What are they getting in Gan Eden Olam Haba? A ray of the Shechina, like the ray of the sun, not the sun. Chassidus explains when a Jew does a mitzvah, they're not connecting to Olam Haba, which is a ray of the Shechina. They're connecting to the essence of Hashem, not the ray of the sun itself, to the essence of Hashem. And therefore the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos says, Yafeh sha'achas b'tshuva ma'asim tevim ba'olam hazeh mikol chai olam haba. 1 second of tshuva and ma'asim tevim in this world is better than the whole olam haba. Why? So Mefarshim of the Mishnah explains. Because olam haba is only a ray of the Shechina. You do a mitzvah, binding connection. Dr. Rabbi says earlier in Tanya and later in Tanya, schar mitzvah. The Mishnah says that in Pirkei Avos. Simple pshat, simple meaning of the Mishnah is the reward of a mitzvah, you'll do another mitzvah. And it says because mitzvah stops another mitzvah. So the reward of a mitzvah, you're going to do another mitzvah. Dr. Rabbi says in Tanya, much deeper than that. Yes, that's true. But schar mitzvah means the reward of the mitzvah is the mitzvah itself. Mitzvah means binding. You do a mitzvah, you bind, connect to the essence of Hashem. So he says, picture this scenario here. Hashem is leaving everything. You do a mitzvah, Hashem is coming down to visit you from all the millions of people. He's coming to visit you. That simcha that a Jew can have because of the Emunah, that is never going to be, you're never going to get depressed from not being where you are. Because all you have to do is turn around, do one mitzvah, and you're bound. That's why, by the way, in the Kiruv movements that basically Chabad Lubavitch started, the Kiruv movement, now everybody has Kiruv movements, which is great. Influence is not like power. Power, if I share it, I get less power. Influence, the more you influence, the more influence you have. Many Kiruv programs don't come to a Jew right away when they meet him and say, put on tefillin. They don't do that. They have a shita. Their opinion is, you can't just put tefillin on with the Jew. Bring them in, learn with them a little bit, talk to them a little bit, and eventually you put on tefillin. The Rebbe's opinion was to the contrary. You meet a Jew, put tefillin on with him. You meet a woman, tell her to bench licht, light Shabbos candles. Why? The Rebbe's opinion was, you put tefillin on with them, they did a mitzvah, they're connected. They're connected to the essence. Now it's easier to talk to them. They're connected. If they're not connected, it's much harder to talk to a disconnected Jew than a connected Jew. You put on tefillin with him right away. Now you could talk to him. He's connected. To what is he connected? Not to the ray. He's connected to the essence of Hashem. And that causes tremendous simcha. He says, and that's what it says. That's why the Gemara, the Habakkuk said this pasuk. Tzaddik b'emunah yichya. What does it mean? A tzaddik with his emunah will live. He says, yichya daika k'tchias hamason. It's mamish like the resurrection of the dead. Meaning, derech mashal, kach tichya nafshe b'simcha rabezu. The soul will become alive when he has this level of simcha. V'simcha kfula mechupeles. It's a double simcha. Kimavad simcha sanefesh. Hamaskel is bekiras Hashem. Besides the fact that the nefesh understands now the closeness of Hashem by doing the mitzvah. V'dirah se'ita imei, and Hashem is coming to live with you. But Eizes yismach bekiflayim. Okay, you should not only the simcha that Hashem is with me, he says even a greater simcha. That what? The simchas Hashem, the gaidol nachas ruach lefanav yizbarich. How much joy Hashem has, be'emunah zu, with this emunah. That what? This kafya sitrach, a person breaks evil. This habcha chashechel nehera, and he transforms darkness to light. We know in serving Hashem, it's in Zayar, it's in Tzidis, it's all over the place. There's something called iskafia, and there's something called ishapcha. Iskafia means breaking evil. Ishapcha means transforming it to kedusha, which means like this: I have a love to something I shouldn't be doing. I love to eat something not kosher. I have a love to it. So what do? I don't eat it. I break myself. My desire, and I don't do it. That's called iskafia. Ishapcha takes it a step further. I have a desire to do something wrong. I transform that desire to want something good. In other words, to give you a simple example, a person has an attribute of love. There's a midah, we have an emotional attribute called love. I could love worldly things. Okay, that love. So what happens? Iskafia means I love it, but I don't do it. I don't do it. That's called breaking evil. Ishapcha means taking that attribute of love that normally wants worldly things, and that love is transformed to want godliness. That's taking darkness and transforming it to light. When you have, we still have 5 minutes. When you have a dark room, room's pitch black, and you bring a candle into the room, or you turn on the light, or as they say in yeshiva, you open the light, you turn on the light. What happens? You dispelled the darkness. You broke it. Like this darkness is powerful. I broke the power of darkness by turning on the light. But I didn't transform it. Well, how do I know that? Because the second I turn off the light, the darkness is back. All I did was dispel the darkness. I threw it out, but I didn't transform it. Transformation ultimately is when darkness becomes light. I can have an enemy in battle. I can have an enemy and I can get rid of him. Okay, he's not an enemy anymore. But there's a greater level. I make and transform the enemy, now he's on my side. That's much greater than getting rid of the enemy. Getting rid of the enemy, I got rid of the evil. But I didn't transform the evil to good. When I take evil and transform the evil to work with me in Kedusha, that's a much greater accomplishment. The nefesh habamis, the animal soul of the Jew, just like the godly soul has intellect and emotions. The animal soul, Dr. Rebbe explained before in Perek Vav, Zelu Mazah, the evil soul also has intellect and emotions. But he says the animal soul wants evil and the godly soul wants good. So I can work with my animal soul and I break it that I don't want any more the worldly things, which Torah says I shouldn't do. But I'm still only left with my love of the godly soul. When I transform the animal soul, that the animal soul itself wants Kedusha, then not only do I have the love of the godly soul, I have the love of the animal soul with it. And not only that, Alter Rebbe explains in Kutei Torah, the love of an animal is much greater than the love of a person. Animals are emotion. People are intellect. When a person gets all excited, what do you tell him? Cool it. What does cool it mean? Take your brain and calm down your emotion. Dogs, animals, don't have intellect to calm down the emotions. When a dog is devoted to the master, there's no, let me think, maybe now I shouldn't. Because animals don't have seichel, they have instinct, but they don't have seichel to cool down the emotion. When they love something, they go for it. There's a pasuk that says, Rav Tvois b'koyach shor. You want abundance of grain? Use an axe to plow the field. Rav Tvois, you want to get a lot of grain? B'koyach shor. Okay? So the obvious, I need, without the pasuk, I wouldn't know that. I need a pasuk to tell me that an axe is stronger than a person. The Alter Rebbe explains, no, that's not what the pasuk is teaching us. The nefesh habamis is a behemoth, it's an ox. Like this, I have my godly soul, the nefesh halikis loves Hashem. The nefesh habamis loves the world. But when I transform the love of the nefesh habamis, that the attribute of love, not what it loves, the attribute of love that the animal soul has, I'm transforming it to love elokus. Not only is it double love, nefesh halikis and nefesh habamis, but the Alter Rebbe says that's what the pasuk is. Rav Tvois, you get a lot of grain with the power of an ox. When your nefesh habamis works for you, the attribute of love and fear of the nefesh habamis is to godliness. I gain much more than two. Because an animal, the love of the nefesh habamis, as love, the attribute itself is stronger than the love of a person. And therefore, the person has this tremendous simcha. He says, when you transform the cheshech of klipos, which is in this world, that darken and cover the revelation of Hashem until Mashiach comes. When the Keh says, when Mashiach comes, there will be no more darkness in the world. Means no more evil. Hashem will remove evil from the world. So this is what Alter Rebbe is saying, why a Jew has to be b'simcha. A Jew needs to realize what they accomplish when they do one mitzvah. They connect to the essence of Hashem as if it's only me and Hashem, which is grammatically incorrect. Hashem and I, and nothing else. You can imagine the simcha that a person has and the excitement that he'll have when he does a mitzvah. Okay, once again, Monday night is Lag BaOmer, so there's not going to be a Monday night class. Next Wednesday night, Mitzvah Shem, 8:30. Tanya, until then, everybody have a good Shabbos, a good Lag BaOmer, good everything.